All right, we're live on a Thursday evening right after a clash of titans.
Great
A
game.
bunch of angry birds and a bunch of guys wielding swords and helmets. They fought. It's over. Birds win. We're here to talk about that and much more here on Losing Sucks. We're glad to have you, Travis. How you doing tonight, man?
Hell of a game. A lot of fantasy weapons in that game. So
Hell yeah.
it was a good game to have a bunch of weapons in. It wasn't one of those duds where you basically start your week off with a bunch of red numbers given whatever platform you're starting on. But
Yeah.
not tonight. Green numbers
No.
all around.
Hell yeah.
DeAndre Swift, to me, takes the cake for the story of the night, followed by
Okay.
TJ Hawkinson. Both of those guys supremely
No love for
out-delivered.
JJ.
No, that's what you expect from JJ. And
It's
he
like
didn't
two
get in
games
the
in a
end
row.
zone.
He's got 300 plus receiving yards already.
Do you need a touchdown?
He does need a touchdown. I don't know what the hell's going on. Throw it to literally everyone else.
When you go 101 overall, not getting in the end zone is not going to get it done.
No.
Hawkinson twice. DeAndre Swift finally gets across the goal line so that Jalen Hurts doesn't punch in a third.
Goodness.
Hurts still gives you 27, though, in most leagues. So
Yeah.
solid start to the week, Dustin.
It's really good. It's a really good one. I mean, we knew coming in we had a lot of potent teams here, fantasy-wise, that, high relevance, in fantasy. You've got starters all over the place. I'm sorry for people who started Alexander Madison. I wish somebody could have advised against that.
He will be just fine. We will get to him in a second. Don't panic
sure.
if you have Madison.
This is a buy low window. This is a buy low. If someone's freaking
Absolutely.
out, absolutely hop on it. But right now, let's just kind of sift through. You already talked about Swift. We've talked about some of the weapons here. Let's touch on someone who didn't have such a great game, though, Travis. What are your feelings on Dallas Goedert? This is 2 quiet weeks in a row. Tight end position is already kind of up in the air most weeks. What are your thoughts here? Are you panicking? Are you trying to get out?
I think this is part of why, philosophy-wise, in draft season, it's Kelsey, Andrews. We've been saying Hawkinson. And
Right.
then after that, you punt. The Kittles, the Goddards, the Kyle Pitts, they're going to give
Wow,
you
Kittle
some
too,
boom. They'll give you some boom weeks, but they're going to let you
Sure.
down a lot
Right.
of times.
Right.
Hawkinson is a volume guy. Andrews is a volume guy. Kelsey is obviously a volume guy.
For sure.
There's not a role for Dallas Goedert to be a volume guy. When you have
No.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Swift, Gainwell, I mean,
Sure.
we said this all last year. We said roulette. It's going to be
Yeah.
a roulette there. A.J. Brown now, 2 weeks in a row, has fallen on the wrong side of that.
And you know what? We saw those big plays taken back from A.J. Brown. One was a touchdown on holding. The other one, possibly taken away from pass interference. They're trying to get him the ball. I'm not worried about him, because this is an explosive offense. So if you're freaking out about the pass catchers outside of Devonta Smith, I wouldn't worry about it right now because they're going to have big games. I don't like to use the cliche too many mouths to feed, but not
That's what it
everyone's
is.
everyone's going to have a touchdown. There are going to be
Yeah.
games when Dallas Goedert and A.J. Brown are having a great game and Devontae Smith has 3 for 21 and you're just kind of having to ride with it.
It happens. What are you doing
it
with
does.
Dallas Goedert? If you own him, my buddy Jerry and Johnson asked, I'm panicking as a Dallas owner. What are we doing with
Sure.
Goddard? You have to wait for him to have a 70-yard touchdown game, right?
I think better days are coming, but like you said, it's going to be inconsistent. I'm looking for a better better week, and that I'm looking to sell probably because you can right now. There's doubt. One good week, you know it as well as I do, Travis. That a big name with a good week, reinstills the confidence, and you can move him on. Who you're moving him on for, I don't know. I mean, you just said the top 3 guys. The Andrews, the Kelseys, the Hawkinsons. Those guys are going to be hard to get. So,
Yeah, you're not getting them. So
you know,
so let's ask this. Dallas Goddard, if you own him, are you willing to accept David Njoku?
I mean, in theory, sure. I see it as kind of lateral move, though. I mean, it's
They're going to
Still,
be lateral, but that's what we're trying to figure
yeah.
out. When you read between the lines, is that
Yeah.
lateral? Does Njoku have a bigger role? Does
For that, I'm holding. I mean, if you can,
Dalton Kincaid
no, I'd still hold Goddard because
hold? Okay, so you're not selling
yeah.
low.
No, I mean, don't panic. I don't think it's time to panic.
I'd rather have Kincaid than Goddard, I think.
Wow, really? After
I'd
1
rather have
week?
Freiermuth than Goddard. I'd probably
Ooh,
rather have
I
Njoku
don't
than
know.
Goddard. We've seen now
Sure.
an inconsistency, which is the most
Yeah.
frustrating thing in fantasy football.
Yeah. What
With
about
Freiermuth, you know he's getting 6 targets.
Yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
it
sure.
going into the game. Especially
mean,
now with Deontay, with a
Sure.
hamstring. You've got Pickens is a
mean,
low-volume guy.
So look at the
Allen
volume,
Robinson,
though.
and
I
then
mean,
what?
Dallas Goddard had 6 receptions, but only 22 yards. I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, he's still getting volume. It's just
Yeah.
not big explosive plays yet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to take anything away from this Minnesota Vikings defense. Yeah, they got 8 up on the ground, but here's a spoiler alert. Everyone in the NFL is going to be eaten up on the ground by the Eagles this year. That's
they are.
not a special for the Vikings. Okay, it's tough to be 0-2, but I wouldn't be too down on them. It's still a solid defense. But Dallas Goedert is going to have good games. He had 6 receptions. You don't get 6 receptions to the tight end position very often. So
I am worried, though. I am worried.
okay, I'm not panicking. If you can
Don't sell
wait for-
low, but be
do
on
not
alert.
sell him for anyone outside those top 3 guys. Do not do it. I would package him with someone else.
You'd rather
you know,
have Goddard than Freiermuth.
Yeah.
I think we
yeah,
differ
for right
on that
now.
one. All right, Alexander Madison. What
Yep.
are we doing with Madison? I have these notes. I'm holding him if
Sure.
I have him.
Okay.
I'm buying low where
Smart.
I can. The volume is there. Nobody else in that backfield is touching the ball. Chandler was there for a couple of garbage
Yeah.
plays. It is
It's gonna
his
be-
backfield.
I think this matchup is not the litmus test that people think it is, because going in, the expectation is that it's going to be difficult to move the ball. There's a lot of excuses that can be thrown out there for Alexander Madison for this week. You know, offensive line is in shambles. I mean, that's not really an argument at this point. We saw them go to their 3rd left tackle in this game, and
Yeah.
then you're going up against one of the most dominant defensive lines and one of the most dominant run-stopping defensive lines. So I'm not going to put this game necessarily all on Madison's shoulders, but I'm not looking to buy him. You know,
He got bailed out. He got absolutely bailed out at the end with the
Sure
fumble.
did.
The lost fumble called back for a lining up offsides. If that
Yeah.
wasn't called back, we could be looking at a week 3 doghouse situation.
Sure. I'm not. I mean, granted, we're sitting here saying no one else is touching the ball. Alexander Madison had 3 receptions, but he also only had 8 carries. It's not like they were like leaning on him in this matchup.
You don't run on Philly. You don't run on Tampa.
Exactly.
Those are the
You don't run on
first 2 that
Philly.
he started against. Better days ahead.
I'm not gonna panic on Alexander. I would look to sell high after his next big game. That's just
Okay.
me.
Final note, Justin Fields makes Jalen Hurts look painfully slow. I don't know if it's just me, but when you watch Jalen Hurts tuck and go, it looks like he's wearing cement boots.
I mean, so Hurts isn't like he's not a burner, you know? He's a tactical, he's a tank, you know?
It looks like Brady running.
Oh, I don't know about that. Come on, give the
That's
guy
what
some
his
credit.
feet look like.
You just called the man Tom Brady.
I did.
Stop. Why are you watching his feet? What is all? Okay,
I'll say
Rex
this:
Ryan.
Brady to Hurts foot speed is closer than Hurts to Fields. That gap is smaller. Moving on from the Thursday night game, that was a
Why
hell
are we
of a
moving
game.
on from this? Is no one going to say anything about what this man just said?
We just don't have time for a rebuttal to something like that.
Oh my
tonight.
God. This is
This
Royce
guy-
Freeman all over again.
This guy or that guy, Puka Nakua or Zay Flowers. These are our start-sit questions, or this guy, that guy. We've got 4
okay.
or 5 of them tonight. So
Okay,
Puka or
let's do
Zay
it.
Flowers. Elijah Klur with the question number 1.
Okay, Klur, I'm gonna honestly, with the injury news for Puka, since we don't really know what's going on, I'm gonna go with Zay Flowers. I really like how he looked in week 1.
All right, I will go with Zay
If
Flowers
Puka's healthy,
as well.
if Puka's healthy, I'm taking Puka.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I think they will have the game script, as anybody will against San Francisco.
That
And you're
defense
not
is
running
good.
on San Francisco, so I think Puka gets another 10 targets if he's out there.
for sure.
Pick one: DJ Moore, James Conner, Puka
Mm-hmm.
again, or Nico Collins for the flex. PPR.
PPR? Oh, man. I'm probably going to go James Conner.
DJ Moore for me. I think there's a bounce back coming for Chicago.
I hope so. The volume's there for James Conner.
It is there. You are guaranteed 15-plus touches. We said earlier today, anybody that's guaranteed 15-plus is tough to pass. For sure. Another DJ Moore question. We will actually slot this in behind this next one, and we will finish with DJ Moore versus Javonte.
Okay.
We'll jump to Samaje Perine or Kyron Williams. We might split on this one.
So
Samaje gets shit, who do they play? Washington?
Samaje, let's see, I just had it right here.
Denver and Washington, I think.
That sounds about right.
Yes, Denver and Washington, and the Rams get the 49ers.
Sure.
Give me Perine based on matchup and a 50-50 split.
Yeah, I like Perine there. Kyron against the 49ers is not something I'm looking forward to. So Perine for me.
All right, we got a live this or that from Jarian.
Oh,
Kendrick Bourne or Rashid Shaheed, third wide receiver, 12-man, standard scoring. The godfather of all fantasy football and the correct way to score.
Let's see. The Patriots have the Dolphins and the Saints. Who do they have?
Carolina.
I'm going to go Shaheed. There.
I like it too. Let's go Shaheed. I do like Kendrick Bourne. If you have room on your roster, don't cut him. Stash him.
Sure.
I would cut somebody like Juju Smith-Schuster for Rashid Shaheed.
I say, you just said stash, so I wanted to say this real quick. My boy Tyquan Thornton is coming back in 3 weeks. Stash him on your IR.
That's so far away right now.
I know. But if
by
you have
then,
an IR
if
spot,
you're 1-3, 0-4,
sure,
you're in panic mode.
But if you have an IR spot and it's empty right now,
yes,
stash him real quick.
Okay, that's a great point.
That's all I'm saying.
That wide receiver room is wide open for the taking.
And they just threw it 54 times. So
that's a good call, Dustin. DJ Moore or Javonte Williams. This is a trade question, not a week 2 question.
Okay.
Which of those two are you preferring, and why?
Well, I mean, personally,
Dynasty. Let's talk Dynasty here.
Okay, we're switching modes here.
Just for this question.
I feel attacked here because this is actually an ongoing trade negotiation I have for these two players. It's
nice to get inside the mind of a Dynasty player mid-season.
So I being the Javonte owner and being offered DJ Moore, I think they're close. I prefer the volume, the guaranteed volume. Being a Bears homer, I don't want to sit here and say, "Oh, just DJ Moore no matter what." Week 1 didn't look pretty. I think I can expect better days, but going ahead dynasty-wise, I think Javonte is going to be a workhorse for the next 3-4 years, and it's Javonte for me, especially in any type of PPR. Javonte catches passes, and sometimes those 4 receptions are more receptions than DJ Moore has. So I'm going to go Javonte here over DJ Moore.
I lean Javonte as well. Just to piggyback off that for 30 seconds.
Sure.
If you have Javonte and somebody offers you DJ Moore, what type of player are you looking to get to push you to the edge?
To get me to trade away Javonte?
Yes.
I mean,
what type of second piece would you need?
I need an upside piece because to me, like I said, they're close. DJ Moore can definitely be a high-end wide receiver too at his ceiling. And so to me, I would need something with upside attached to it. A young prospect wide receiver that also could come into a nice role on a popular offense. Christian Kirk, sure. Yeah, Christian Kirk would be a great piece. I mean,
Christian Kirk and DJ Moore would allow you to move Javonte Williams.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and one running back.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon?
Yeah, I would do A.J. Dillon, DJ Moore for Javonte, for sure.
All right, I think that answers the question there for you, Eric. That's the level of player it would take. We'll see if you're willing to put that on the table.
Yep.
Dustin, we move on now. We are halfway through our 30-minute show just like that.
Love it.
On to the big picks.
Hold on.
Oh.
Big picks.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I missed that. I missed it so much.
World-class production right there.
I'm glad I got to press that button. That makes me happy inside.
Big picks of the week. I'll start it off with quarterback,
Hit
if
me.
you don't mind. Jared Goff. I think he outproduces his projection by 5 or more points.
Ooh.
Matt Stafford just threw for 334 yards versus the same Seattle defense last week. I was wondering, what did Jared Goff average last year? On the season, 261 yards per game. He looked sharp week 1, knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs. At home, in the Dome, the buzz is all around Detroit right now. Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta, and crew should get Jared Goff over the 300-yard mark, and I like Jared Goff as a top 10 play this week.
Yeah, Jared Goff is a great play this week. That's going to be a nice shootout there in Seattle. My big pick of the week at quarterback.
It's not in Seattle. It's in the Dome.
It's in the Dome. It's
in Detroit.
Versus,
and that is why he's going to go off.
Versus Seattle. Speaking of domes, my next guy at quarterback is playing in the Dome. It is Danny Dimes, and he's playing a woeful opponent in the Arizona Cardinals. Let's be honest. The only reason that Daniel Jones had a bad week last week
because he sucks balls.
Yes, yes,
and he shouldn't have been paid $1.
He, as they say, gargles scrote, as they say in the streets.
That's the first for this show.
But it's the Cardinals, okay? And it's going to be played in a dome, not in a tsunami downpour.
Very true.
And the last time I checked, Dallas isn't scheduled to be on the field. It's going to be the Cardinals, who have no problem letting other offenses do whatever the hell they want. Danny Dimes is going to be doing whatever the hell he wants. Throwing the ball, running the ball, teabagging the Cardinals, doing whatever the hell he wants. He's going to be I think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback this week. And you put it on the board. Danny Dimes, my big pick quarterback of week 2.
I like it. Running back Jamal Williams for me. Atlanta just ran all over the Panthers defense, combining for 25 carries, 129 yards, and 2 scores. I know Kendre Miller was not there last week, but Jamal Williams got 95% of the Saints running back carries.
Love that.
Second highest percentage in the NFL in week 1. I think they eased Kendre back, you can't really come back when you're a rookie. So
this is true.
That was dumb as fuck. Next, 15.
What an idiot!
15 plus touches is a lock, I think, as a floor for Jamal Williams.
For sure.
Yes, he did go 18 for 45 last week, but Tennessee is a great run D. They were number 1 last year against the run. Carolina gave up on the course of last year 120 yards per game.
Whew.
And they just did it again last week. Jamal Williams should have 80 to 100 yards and a score.
They hand him the ball a lot, and he looked good. I mean, towards the end of the game, he had his best run of the game in the fourth quarter, and if that doesn't tell you that dude just runs as hard as he can every single time he gets the ball, I don't know what else to tell you. My running back big pick of the week is Rachaad White against the Chicago Bears defense. The Bears looked like they did at the end of last year, awful against any running back. And Rachaad White has some question marks coming off of week 1. A lot of volume last week, not a lot of production, unfortunately. Had 17 attempts, and he had a few targets, 5 targets, I believe. And so it's not ideal. Actually, I take that back. He had 2 targets, not 5. But still, 19 touches. I like that kind of volume against a struggling Bears defense who don't really know what their identity is on that side of the ball. I think even with a struggling offensive line for the Bucs, I think Rachaad White's going to have enough volume to be a high-end running back 2, low-end running back 1 this week. So put it in writing that Rachaad White going to have a nice bounce-back game here week 2.
I really like that pick. I'm not saying that Rachaad White is Aaron Jones. Very few can even be in the same sentence.
But he is Le'Veon Bell.
He is Le'Veon Bell light. It is in the making. However, the Green Bay running backs just went over 100 yards through the air against the Chicago Bears defense.
Ridiculous.
So, yes, again, he's not Aaron Jones, but he is a great pass-catching back.
True.
Regardless of what the numbers show you, your eyes show you that he's very smooth through the air. I like the pick.
Right.
I have a lot of shares of Rachaad White. I hope you're right. Jahan Dotson, second-year receiver, Washington Commanders. What a name. Pat Surtain is going to line up with Terry McLaurin.
Line them up.
That's a matchup that I think my beloved Sam Howell should stay away from if possible. We just saw a legit number 2 receiver have a great day. Not a good day, a great day versus Denver. Jacoby Myers just went 9 for 81 and 2 because of the attention Devontae Adams was getting. No, Terry is not Devontae Adams, but he is the one. He will line up against Pat. I think Dotson is peppered with targets. I think he catches 7 out of 10 balls, 130 yards, and a score.
For sure. I like that. That's going to be good. Dotson, man. Big things from the arm of Sam Howell feeding that man. My big pick of the week, it kind of encompasses 2 people now because DeAndre Hopkins came up with an ankle injury, isn't practicing right now. I'm hoping it was just a vet day. All-pro guy doesn't need to practice every day. So I'm hoping that's what it is. But if DeAndre Hopkins isn't it, Treylon Burks sure as hell will be as the Tennessee Titans take on the Los Angeles Chargers, who give up passing yards seemingly at will. I mean, granted, it's not Tyreek Hill on the other side of the ball now, but Hopkins saw 13 targets week 1, and Treylon Burks ran the most routes of any Titans wide receiver last week against the Saints. So I have hope that there's volume even in what is perceived as a low-volume passing attack for the Titans. I like this matchup to be a shootout, high-scoring affair where, sure.
What is a shootout anyway?
Both teams score 75 points, Travis.
This just keeps going up.
Yeah.
Why would I ask that? Why such a random question, Dustin?
There may have been a question in a group chat that we're in about what necessitates a shootout. Some may ask, was the Vikings and Eagles game tonight a shootout? I would raise the question of, well, what is a shootout to you? And to me, it's someone gets shot.
This just keeps escalating. First
Absolutely.
50 points each, then 75. Now somebody has to get penetrated by a metal bullet.
Whoa, not the P word. We don't say the P word. But DeAndre Hopkins, if he doesn't play, Treylon Burks going to have 10 targets, and I love that for a wide receiver 2 on your team. Treylon Burks probably wide receiver 3, but going to have a role if D-Hop doesn't play. And so, like I said, going to be a high-scoring game. Both sides going to have to keep up with the other, and defenses for either side of the ball haven't exactly been sturdy. So a lot of scoring opportunities. I think it's gonna be high-paced.
If D-Hop does play,
yep.
Where are you putting Burks?
If D-Hop plays, Burks is a low-end wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4.
Okay, Judy is back. What do you do with Burks versus Sutton?
If then Sutton's up. Then Sutton's gonna be.
Judy's playing.
Judy is playing.
Yes.
If Judy's
full
playing,
practice today, I'm expecting him
I'm
to play.
still gonna play Cortland Sutton because I still need to see it from Judy. I got to see that he's healthy. And
Burks
Sutton,
or JSN.
I'm gonna go. I'd probably go JSN there.
Give me Burks.
I'd probably go JSN there over Burks.
I want to see
tough.
JSN earn volume.
Sure.
Versus Metcalf and Lockett.
For sure.
That's going to be hard to do. It's why we stay away from rookies in redraft.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
It's just going to be tough. Those are very, very good NFL receivers. He's not competing with 38-year-old Adam Thielen.
Well, sure, but I mean, JSN is very good. That's not to take away from him. I'm going to change my mind. I'm actually going to go Treylon Burks. I'm going to go Treylon Burks over JSN. Now that I kind of think about it.
DK and Lockett just got Geno paid.
Sure.
That's JSN, who he wants to throw the ball to. That's who he trusts. Yeah. Sure, JSN can get in there. It will take some time.
Yeah. Let's move on to our, of course, the most important position on the field, the tight end position. Who is your tight end big pick of the week, Travis?
Dalton Kincaid. We've mentioned his name a couple times. We've mentioned it a lot in the group chat today and yesterday. He was part of a deal where I moved Kyle Pitts in Dynasty. I think Dalton Kincaid, I know people were high on him in the rookie draft in the Dynasty world.
For sure.
I normally stay away from rookie anything, particularly rookie tight ends in redraft.
Yep.
I think his role grows very quickly. Yeah. They don't have a clear number 2 there. He seems like he can do everything for Josh Allen. This is more of an eye test thing. I think Dalton Kincaid is supremely talented. He looked a lot better than his numbers showed. I think he had 4 catches for 20-something week 1. But Denver's tight ends just combined for 7 catches for, I think, 60 yards or close to it last week. So I think the Bills get right against Vegas, and I think Kincaid scores his first NFL touchdown as a pro.
I love that. Watch out for Dalton Kincaid. I think second half of the season he's really going to explode, if not earlier. But we know tight ends take a little bit of time. Speaking of rookie tight ends, and Eric, you hit it right on the head. My big pick of the week is Luke Musgrave, this dynamic athlete picked in the second round for the Packers. And he's their starting tight end, which says a lot as a rookie. They targeted him 4 times. He had 3 receptions for 50 yards against the Bears. And if you're watching the game, they hit a long bomb that he just kind of stumbled over his feet backwards and should have scored a touchdown. I think if that happens, he would have been more popular this week. And against a Falcons defense who gave up a touchdown to Hayden Hurst last week, I think that Luke Musgrave can also have similar success. We know just how fickle the rankings are for tight ends each week to week. And a touchdown would send Luke Musgrave into at least the top 10, if not higher.
Hunter Henry-like almost.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. 56 yards. And so I'm saying Luke Musgrave is a guy to watch out for in this game. Jordan Love trusts him, looks like. They spend some time together. So I'm going to go with Luke Musgrave as my big pick of the week. I think he scores a touchdown in this matchup and has 5 targets, gets you a few receptions, and goes over 50 yards this week.
I like it a lot. I don't know if you said this already or not, but Christian Watson is probably not playing.
He's not playing.
To contribute.
For sure.
Okay, quick question from Jarian in the comments.
Yeah.
He is one of us who drafted Garrett Wilson in the wide receiver 8 to 10 range with the Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Olave group.
Yeah, yep.
As he should have. Where does Garrett Wilson fall with Zach Wilson manning the helm? Does he fall outside of your top 24 for the season?
He's right there at the bottom. He is.
The guys around that area are.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him behind the Christian Watson, Brandon Ayuk group.
Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that puts him outside the top 20 to 22.
He's
now
right
we're
at the
talking
bottom.
Terry McLaurin, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, I have him right above Mike Evans. So I think he's probably 20. He's probably 28 to 24, right around there.
22 is Ayuk, around there.
Sure.
Ayuk and Watson, DJ Moore is like 20, 21, 22. So do you prefer him to DeAndre Hopkins?
Wilson?
Yeah.
No, I
don't
go
think
Hopkins.
I can.
I go Hopkins over Wilson.
Terry?
I go Terry. I go Terry over Wilson. Yeah.
All right, so he is a high-end wide receiver 3.
Low end.
Some
wide
week,
receiver
yeah.
too.
Some weeks he'll give you those top 15.
That's not
weeks
to say
where
he doesn't
goes
have a
crazy.
ceiling. It's just to say I don't see him best case scenario he reaches low end wide receiver 1 on any given week.
Yeah,
I don't see
agree.
it happening more than once this year.
Unless they go get somebody.
Unless
just at the
with
current
Zach Wilson.
situation.
Caveat being with Zach Wilson, I do not see him having a consistent workload or production. The work will be there, but those passes are not going to be accurate. I mean, I'm hoping for the best, but you're really struggling to find what you wanted from him this year.
I agree. All right, we got 4 names to talk about in 65 seconds.
Let's do it.
Number 1, these are our deep sleepers of the week. Travis, Kendrick Bourne, 6 for 64 and 2 touchdowns on 11 targets in week 1. They do not have a whole lot of options still.
Sure.
Devontae Parker limited again today. He's the type of guy, Bourne, that can get it done in one play. You add a little bit of volume, I'm in. Number 2, Zach Moss. Deion Jackson was terrible in week 1. I think he fumbled twice. He was a huge part of why they lost the game. Zach Moss steps in off of the IR. Baltimore just pounded Houston, 3 touchdowns on the ground. I think Moss steps into 17-plus touches and finds the end zone.
I like that. My first deep sleeper is Ezekiel Elliott, another Patriots weapon, but this time they're deploying him a little bit different than he has in the past. He's being used mainly as a pass catcher. Now, I know they were trailing a lot of that game, had to get it to some drop downs. You drop it off to the running back. But Ezekiel Elliott, 7 targets this past week and some rushing work as well. I think he's going to have a consistent workload. He's going to be that pass catching back in that backfield. And now in a high-powered matchup with the Dolphins this week I think they're in Miami. I think we're going to see Zeke used in that role, and out of necessity, I think he's going to see another handful of carries and another handful.
Crazy words to be saying these things about Zeke.
I know, right?
Now.
He's 86 years old, and he's going to get 10. He's going to get 10 carry or 10 touches.
All right, bring us home our final player of the Thursday night Rapid show.
Yeah, final part here. Final deep sleeper. Josh Reynolds going up against the Seattle Seahawks. He plays for the Lions. They don't have a bona fide wide receiver 2. Some amalgamation of Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Jones. I think it's Josh Reynolds here. They had 7 targets, 80 yards last week. Could have had a touchdown on a couple of those big plays, but they throw it deep. They throw it often to him. And it's an offense that I find that's going to be steadily moving the ball down the field and consistently. I like him to have more scoring opportunities than most in his position. You can get him as your wide receiver 3 or deeper flex play, and that's someone who I wouldn't mind tossing in my lineup and having some trust in to score you some touchdowns.
All right, I like it. That was the Thursday post-game Rapid show. 30 minutes, much shorter than our usual show, but I kind of like it for the Thursday night post-game.
Love it.
Dustin, bring us home. Thank you to our live listeners. We always appreciate the comments and the views.
Absolutely.
And just the conversation. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Catch us next week. Good luck in week 2. And as always, losing sucks. Don't do it.